2 weeks. 2 weeks! That is all it seems taken for the new owners of Eastbourne Borough Football Club to seemingly divide the whole fan base. The National League South team, based on the Sussex coastline, have been fairly successful in their last few seasons, finishing in the playoff place in 21-22 and finishing 8th, which was admittedly 4 points outside the playoffs last season. The last few years of stability and relative success are at risk of being completely undermined, with a situation very similar to that of Crawley last season. Here, I will be asking the question, what is going on at Eastbourne Borough? Up until the 2020-21 season, the years from 2012 to 2019 were largely unstable and unsuccessful, as the sacking of long-time manager Gary Wilson led to relegation to the National League South, with a slew of managers brought in an attempt to stabilise the slowly sinking ship. In short, this couldn't go on forever. The club's fortunes were turned around when Danny Blore was brought in to help the club back to the National League in November 2019. With his first 2 seasons being curtailed with the COVID-19 pandemic, the club finished 18th in the 1920 season and a 3rd place finish in the following, with an FA Cup first round appearance versus Blackpool. His next 2 full seasons were solid too, with a 6th place finish but a 2-0 loss to Bath City in the playoffs, and a slight regression in the next, finishing 8th place and missing out on the playoffs. This, in my opinion, is a terrible decision. Although Beard is seemingly rated highly in some circles, Blore had brought stability back to Borough, and the sacking seems knee-jerk-like and at an awkward time, where a familiar face would help keep the continuity with the players and the staff between the previous and the newest regime. Adding to the anxieties, the ambition to recruit and train players using a data-heavy method is very similar to the path Wagme United, who were basically just a pair of crypto bros who decided to taking a shot at owning a football club used at Crawley Town the previous year, which led to an extremely poor season for them, with a 22nd place finish in League 2, multiple managers sacked and supporters protesting towards the end of the season against the ownership. And most recently, in some ways, the most unforgivable change was made to the club. The new owners thought it would be an incredibly smart idea to change the club crest, which depicted the Martello Tower on Eastbourne Seafront, to what seems to be a random sandcastle on an all-blue crest. Since 1972, Borough have played in red, with the red crest being a mainstay for the same period. I mean, the stadium seats are literally red. The whole club is themed around the colour red. In what seems an ironic statement to the fans now, the new shareholders said, "This is an exciting opportunity for both the club and the whole town of Eastbourne, and we look forward to supporting Simon with his exciting and progressive plans for the club." Why, in a period where you need the fans more on side than ever? The new ownership have already somewhat fractured the relationship with the fans. These 2 massive changes so early on in the regime may seem threatening, as changes like this may seem like the club is going down a path they don't want to follow, as can be seen in the responses on Twitter to the sacking of Blore and the controversial changing of the crest. To add to the unrest at the club, no incoming transfers have been made as of yet due to the uncertainty around the finances of the takeover. Along with this, many fans and their predictions for the forthcoming season have placed Borough in the bottom half of the table, with some even going as far as having them in the relegation zone. Overall, the situation at Borough is largely unclear. With the new season starting up again in early August, Mark Beard does have plenty of time to integrate his style of play into the players still at the club. Despite this, uncertainty over new signings and unrest within the fan base over the sacking of Danny Blore and the alteration to the club crest, many questions remain unanswered. I'd like to thank everyone watching this video. in the comments, maybe let me know what you think needs changing, what's gone wrong so far, and maybe even what's gone right. But then again, thank you for watching, and peace.